Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and today I thought I would show you my Five Below haul. I know. It's been a minute since I've been in that store, and you know, their target audience is preteens and teenagers. And so most of the stuff will appeal to younger people, but it also surprised me how many things they have that are quite age-friendly and also interesting to people of a certain age and older. So I went in and I was really surprised to see all these makeup, hair, and skincare dupes, like MCO beauty kind of stuff, you know, and all the people that are imitating everybody with the packaging and everything else. I was really surprised. So I did a haul, and I thought it'd be interesting for you to see what I got there, because the price points in there are like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, and then they have this $5.50 thing, and then they have an area called 5 Plus, and that goes into like $8 items, so that's big money. I guess if you're a teenager with an allowance, it is big money. So I think what I'll do is I'll start with some of the tools and some of the surprise things that I found, and we'll just work from there. So one of the things was this makeup cleaning pad. So it has suction cups on the back, and you just stick them on the bottom of your sink, and this works so well to like clean your brushes. So I would dip my brush into some water, dip it onto the Zote soap or in the Dawn liquid, and then just brush it over here. There's just enough different textures here to really give your brush a good workout cleaning for, you know, a wet clean, which I think should be done. I do mine every week, but you know, there is another thing further along we'll talk about for daily cleaning. But this is really nice. It's a nice little mat. And I think it was $3, I don't know, but it's a really good cleaning mat for your brushes. Along those same lines, these are the brush cleaning wipes. Now these are so nice for travel, and or if you're, you know, visiting somewhere, if you're at a wedding or something and you want to clean your brush and put some stuff on. Now this doesn't work quite as good as the fancy schmancy type, which I think is toxic now. I don't think they sell it anymore, those liquid brush cleaners that have the lemon on it. So you pull out a wipey, and there's a witch hazel base to this and a few other things. So what I'll do is I'll just put some blush on this. Let me see, I'll just put a little blush on this, something you can see, okay? And you just basically just wipe it across. There's witch hazel, there's water, there's glycerin, there's a few other things on here. So you just keep wiping it back and forth so you get the bulk of it. Now it still keeps your brush slightly damp, so you have to let it dry for about 5 minutes, but then it's ready to use again. And some things will stain it more than others. I've tried this with several different brushes. The hardest to get off is the hot pink pigment blush. For some reason that one is the hardest to get off. But it did a pretty good job, I think, of getting that one off. Let me show you an eyeshadow. And you can clean more than one brush with this. Let's just open up this beauty thing, and let's just get an eyeshadow here. Okay, so there we go. So we're just gonna back off. So we've got pretty much all of it off there. So I think they're kind of neat, you know, as far as getting everything off. You can do it right away, and then you can use your brush. Within a couple of minutes, you can use your brush again. So I think that's a great idea. And they are $2, 30 wipes. So I think that's a pretty good deal for a couple of bucks, and it does a pretty good job. Now this does not take the place of your weekly serious wet cleaning. They have these mirrors. Now this is a 10 by mirror. It has the suction cups on the back. Now if you're traveling, you can stick this on a window and do your makeup, and I mean, it's unforgiving 10 by magnification. I don't know why a kid would want this. This is something that like an adult would want, you know. I mean, it's cruel and unforgiving. It's a 10 by magnification, and it was $3. And I just think that's a wonderful thing. You can also use it, you know, when you're doing your makeup. Here I can just check and see, you know, is there anything dropped down? Did I smear my mascara? You know, you can have a really nice close look. Having a 10 by mirror is just, you have to have one. If you're over the age of 40, and that's when your vision starts to get wonky, you know, start reading lipsticks and things, and you're doing this, you know, to books and things. Yeah, 10 by mirror, this is wonderful. These are in the dollar bin, and they have a lot of dollar items, and I thought they had a really great assortment. It was a lot of fun going through this. Now they had these little spray bottles, and I thought, what a great idea to put your alcohol in, and then you can spray your like your eye palettes and things. Like I had a really bad flu between January and March, and I was coughing, hacking, my eyes were running, but I was still putting makeup on and going to work. So what I do is you spray alcohol on it, you leave it overnight to dry, and the alcohol will kill the bacteria from that day. And I just think that it's good hygiene to practice, especially all your powder items. Any of your cream items, make sure you wipe them all down. Lipsticks, things like that, spray them in alcohol too. You can dip them too. And I thought this was a great idea. Now they have brushes there, and their brand seems to be the Chic. They have a lot of sets for $5, but the brush itself is very flimsy on those particular brush sets, and I wouldn't recommend them. Now this one isn't bad. This is the Chic Pro line, and they're charged individually, and this was a $2 brush. This is very good for detailing under with concealer, things like that. It's called the concealer brush. But they also had like eyeshadow brushes and blending brushes separately. I would recommend, if you're going to get a brush at Five Below, go with the Pro ones, because they're a much better material that the thing is made out of. And this is quite resilient. I've washed this several times, and it's kept its shape, and it seems quite resilient. For a $2 brush, that's not bad. It's not really good enough for eyeshadow, although you could do detail work in the corner to smear out like a line or something, but I think that this is a great little thing, but I wouldn't recommend the main Chic brushes where they have like 5 of them for $5. I honestly, they weren't that very good quality, but the Pro line, I believe, it's a step up. Let's get into skincare. I couldn't believe all the skincare dupes I saw. Oh my goodness. But let's start with, I'm having so much fun with these hand sanitizers. I made fun of them in my video for mid-March favorites and flops, and I made fun of people who are buying these flavored hand sanitizers. I'm like, you know, it's a freaking hand sanitizer. What's wrong with you? And here I am, I see these, and I'm like, I have to try them. Now this one is now the older ones, the ones that first came out at Five Below, they are in a different spray bottle than the newer ones. This one is Pineapple Dream, and my goodness, what a pleasant experience this is. If you cut into a fresh pineapple and smell it, that's what this is. And it's a hand sanitizer. 99% of germs are killed and all this other stuff. And it's got 1.2 ounces of stuff, and it was $3. Now they had lots of different flavors. They had, I think, 6 or 7 different flavors. And Dollar Tree has 1 ounce, which is a little less product, for $1.25. But they had limited, I mean, they had Ocean Breeze, and they had Plumeria, and they had something else, some kind of peony or something. I've been noticing the different flavors, and it really makes it's kind of fun. You know, when I'm in the car, I always have them in my car. That's where I use hand sanitizers. If I go somewhere and I touch surfaces, or, you know, when you're checking out and you touch the banking stuff with your hand, the keyboard, you know, how many people have wiped their nose and then stuck their hand on that keyboard? So, second I get to my car, I spray my hands with this. I spray my keys, I spray the door, and this is a wonderful flavor. If you see it, the Pineapple Dream is nice. Now the newer ones are $4, and the reason they are is the packaging is different, and there's more scents too, but the packaging has a keychain and a pleasant looking background. Can you see the background on this one? Isn't that cute? This one is Violet Orchid and Sandalwood, and it sounds funky, but this is the only one that smells a little bit like a perfume, and I like it. I thought it was very pleasant. You know, and they're all in packages. They're hanging up. You can find them in different areas of the store. Just ask the overly attentive employees who follow you around the store because they think you're shoplifting. Yeah, I like them. That one is nice, and then this one is the Vanilla Macadamia. I think this one is my favorite. This one is absolutely my favorite. Now it's got a silicone case on it, which I think is part of the reason it's, because this doesn't have the case. This one has the silicone case with the key ring. So that's the difference in the $1 price tag. So these are 3, these are 4. I don't know how much older they can be. I mean, when did this Touchland stuff come out? A couple of years ago? I don't know. But anyway, this Vanilla Macadamia is heavenly. It's more of a almond kind of scent to it. It's very luxurious smelling. It's really nice. So, and they had watermelon and they had the cucumber melon. You know, it's really, you know, your choice what kind of flavors you like, but I totally recommend the Pineapple Dream. The Pineapple Dream is outstanding, and I mean, these are going to last me all summer long. I really enjoy it, and it's a different scent at every gas station. You know, it's really nice. Along the lines of cleaning, this is the micellar water, and that comes in flavors too. You know, I have the plain old. I have this one, which is the, you know, the Garnier micellar water. Well, this steps it up. It really does. This is the Peachy Clean micellar water, and it smells like fresh peaches. It is so pleasant to use, and I think this was $4 or $5 maybe. Yeah, and you know, this one costs, I think this one costs a little more, but yeah, it's obviously they're trying to dupe this, but I love the smell of this, so I actually will use this over this, and it was just as effective. I don't know if micellar water is micellar. I don't even know what micellar water is, but it's a cleaning agent. I love it. The last tool is clothing. The hats. And you know, I love hats. I always get different hats, and I saw this pink one. It had beads on it. It said Aloha. I took those off. One thing I noticed about the hats is they've got plastic threading on them, and you can never seem to get them straight. You know, you can pull on them and try to get them straight, but they just don't look nice. There's always like a ridge, you know, and then I thought, well, maybe I can make it look like, you know, like I'm out on the, you know, out in Australia or something, you know, and it just looks cheap, and it feels cheap, and I just don't feel good in it. But these hats were $5. They had black, brown with sparkles. The black had sparkles on it too, and then the pink had the beads that said Aloha. Yeah, no, it's just too cheap, Big surprise was their book section. Oh my goodness, what an interesting grouping of books, and they were different at different Five Belows. This one is about one of my favorite artists, is Gustav Klimt. It goes into his whole life. It shows his paintings and the style of paintings and what inspired them and the women behind the paintings and who they are and what they were to him. And this is for teens and preteens. This book isn't on any level, because the artwork, of course, he had a lot of erotic looking art. And this was $5. And they had so many. They had recipe books. They had the Egyptian Book of the Dead. They had meditation books. They had positive affirmations, mantras, coloring books for adults. There was a lot of stuff there that just so surprised me. There was a really cute book there called How Things Work. And it was everything. It was how the sewer system works, how the electric system works in your house, how your car works, and it showed all the mechanicals and things pointing at it saying this does that, this does that. It was so interesting. They had like a lot of like boomer cookbooks with favorite recipes, and they had, you know, peach shortcake and, you know, aspic, things like that in there. I was just really fascinated. They had gardening stuff. They had, I don't know, all kinds of interesting things. And then they had the stuff for the kids, which was, you know, gaming stuff and comic book stuff and things like that. But there was a lot of stuff like coffee table books for adults and everything. Nothing was over $5. And I think that that was nice. It was a big surprise going through there. It was a lot of fun. So have a look. And I just thought it was unusual because every single Five Below I went to, I looked at the books and they were different. So I don't know if they're all given a certain amount of each book and then they sell out in some places and not in others. I don't know, but this was a nice find, and it was only in one of the 4 Five Belows I went into. I went into 4 of them, and this was only in one of them. So kind of interesting that they have that stuff. For hair care, I have 3 items. This one, there's a product called, I think it's called Scalpin, and what it is it's a special rosemary peppermint oil that you take in your fingers and you rub it in your scalp, and it stops itching. Like if your hair is itching, like if you're in the summertime, you can get itchies really easily, and they're probably little in your little nits in your head. If you've got scalp issues, this is a really nice little product. And this is the scalp care, and I know they're trying to dupe somebody with this. I don't know who. From Spa Life. Soothing hair and scalp oil, anti-itch and cooling, helps soothe dry, flaky scalp, helps balance excess oil. So it does help your scalp not itch. And then you go and you get it checked. But this works really nicely in the summer. I used to get an itchy scalp all the time, and I don't know, you're sweating and things like that. But especially in this day and age when a lot of the gals aren't washing their hair more than once or twice a week, probably need this stuff. I don't know. I thought it was nice. Now, wow. This is their version of Wow, and this is the Cloud Coat Magical Mist. This is a shine spray that's supposed to duplicate the Wow product, and I used it on dry hair the first time I used it. You're actually supposed to wash your hair, condition your hair, and then you spray this on just before you dry, section by section, and you'll see volume and shine. And when I did this, it said, I just looked at it, I was like, I'm looking at my hair, I'm like, wow. Wow. It really, you know, kind of irony here, but it worked. This worked. I haven't tried the Wow product, so I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same, but it worked nicely. So I think that's all that matters to me. I don't care who products are duping. If it works, I like it. I don't care how much like that product is. If it works for me, I like it. So this is the Shine Cloud Mist, Magical Mist, and it's their version of Wow's Shine Mist. Now this is something that's new to me this year, and I don't know if it's something that only people with textured hair knew about before. I don't know, but this is a hair smoothing balm. If you have trouble getting the cap off, turn the bottom and it pushes it up from the inside. This is a hair smoothing agent, so if you have flyaway hairs, you literally just stroke it across and it keeps them in place. It's like a solid pomade. It's really, really neat. And I don't have as many flyaways as some people do, and I just thought it was an interesting product. And the packaging is just like the Byoma. And yeah, it's nice. These were $5. These particular dupes were $5, and they really dug hard into Byoma. Thusly. Hello. This is the Amora Makeup Meltdown Milk Cleanser. This worked really nicely. If you have really sensitive skin though, I think it might affect it because I felt a little bit of sensitivity with it, but it really got my face nice and clean. It felt great. Talk about imitating the components. That's really something. So this is the milk cleanser, Byoma's milk cleanser dupe at Five Below. It was $5. And I think it worked nicely. And this is the dupe for Byoma. This is the Hydrate and Glow Face Cream. This is their moisturizer. There's no scent to it. Absolutely wonderful, creamy, emollient. They got the packaging down. But if you put this on your face, it soaks in and your face just feels so beautiful and soft. So I think they hit this pretty well. This is like the Byoma hydration glowing cream stuff for your face. So, and again, I didn't try the original, so I can't say whether it's as good or works the same way, but it worked very nicely for me. Now the thing with this is that after a couple weeks, if I have any kind of skin rashes or breakouts or anything that develop, I will let you know, because it would be these products. But so far so good. I'm really enjoying them. I've had them now probably about 4 days. I've been using them, so yeah. Now this was kind of a fail. This is in their dollar bins. Hydrating body butter, and this is the vanilla flavor. This it had a fairly nice texture. It wasn't as nice as the MCO Beauty's version of the Sol de Janeiro stuff. This was kind of a thicker regular moisturizer, but it has that vanilla scent that you get at the Dollar Tree, and if you know, you know, it's a Dollar Tree skincare scent. So to me this was a fail. It was in the dollar bin, so I figured it's worth the chance to take it. I'm not gonna keep it, but I just thought I would try it, you know, but that's what this is. But it was a fail, wasn't very good.
Oh gosh, I have corrupted footage. I was using a secondary camera. I lost all of my footage for solar flare. Now these are the Rio de Janeiro dupes, and they have several of the flavors. They fall short, they really do. The feel of them is not as silky smooth and creamy as the MCO dupe is. And I just found that the smell, especially of this one, faded as soon as it went on. It faded and it got that Dollar Tree skincare smell.
I really liked this product. This is the Glass Skin Refining Serum, and I'm not sure who they're duping here. I'm sure one of you can let me know in the comments. This is a delicious serum. I put a little bit on and it feels slightly tacky, just slightly tacky. but it absorbs into the skin and my skin feels great. So I don't know, but this worked really nicely as a primer. It worked well under my makeup, and I'm really pleased with it. It is in a dropper. They also have a gold. They also have a gold primer that I didn't trust. It had little pieces of gold nugget in it. I don't think it was gold. Probably tin foil, you know. So the glass skin refining serum, I like it so far. It's been working nicely. I've been wearing it for 4 days now. And I am wearing all the products on my face today. This was an interesting thing. This is Wet n Wild's. They do carry regular brands there, and they had Wet n Wild, but they had different products than you would find in like CVS or Walgreens. They have, this is the Wet n Wild Cooling Hydra Depuffer for eyes and face. And this has caffeine, vitamin E, green tea oil, and hyaluronic acid in it. And it's supposed to depuff your eyes. But what's amazing about this, again, we got another one of these little caps. Make sure you put it on afterwards. It goes on so cooling, and you can feel it, and your eyes look great. I mean, my eye makeup went on great after this, so it works really nicely. And I always twist it down and put the little cap back on there. So I think it affects the ingredients if you don't have it sealed properly. But this is new, it said, from Wet n Wild. So I like it, and I think in the summertime this is going to be very pleasant to have. And I'm wondering if I should use it down in the, you know, St. Bernard gels. But I like that. And they have like a limited edition of CoverGirl. They have Wet n Wild. They have Rimmel. They have different ones have different products. Kind of cheap. And then their own brand is called Smoke and Mirrors, and I don't like it at all. I don't like any of their eyeshadows. I don't like any of their eyeliners. I don't like their lipsticks. Very, very cheap. Very cheap. So Smoke and Mirrors is not good. So speaking of the $1 and $2 bins, this is the Tom's Wicked Cool deodorant. And I don't know what's wicked cool about it. It does have, I think, a fruit, it's kind of a fruit punch scent to it. It works nicely. I mean, it's a natural deodorant. Tom's has been around for a long time. Not as effective as the really dangerous toxic deodorants, but this is the same thing as the Guerlain powder, you know. You've got, it's like, it's better for you, but it isn't as much fun. So, wicked cool. Tom's deodorant. So I've been using it, just trying it out, and so far it's been okay, but I haven't really tested it out like on a really hot day or, you know, for a long period of time over the day to notice anything. So, but they do have, you know, like name brand products. Let's get into makeup. They have these four, they're $1 each, and these are stick, blush, and bronzer and highlighters. These are the only colors that I saw they came in. Starting with the highlighter, it is, initially it looked nice, and when I got up close, it's just compressed mini gold glitter. It's awful. Absolutely awful. It's like suspended in a clear cream. It's gold glitter and awful. Just awful. And the glitter, as soon as it dried down, the glitter dissipated all over my cheeks. It's terrible. It's the worst of the grouping here. The blush is a very cool toned pale pink. There's a limited amount of people who can wear this. It's a very blue toned pink. I'm not a person who can wear it. It kind of blended off to nothingness. It was hard to see it after maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. It had faded out. So it's a very cheap formulation. It's not worth trying. You know, it's not even worth, even for $1, it's not worth it. Now I had a slightly different experience with these products. This is the contour, which is a darker, deeper shade. And then there's the bronzer, which is a warmer, lighter shade. The bronzer actually worked the best out of the both. This darker one, on me anyway, was a little muddy, and it accentuated my age spots on my face. It kind of stained them almost. And I find that with a lot of cream and liquid products that happens. So I tend to shy away from using cream and liquid products when I'm doing my makeup, because they do stain your age spots, these darker ones. So the this one actually blended nicely and looked very nice. Again, I'm wearing that, so it's nice. So out of the grouping, I would only get the lighter of the two bronzing shades, and this is the lighter one. The deeper one, I don't know if they think that it was going to work for deeper skin tones, but not really. Yeah, it's kind of limiting. They do blend out to, I mean, you could shear them out to almost nothing, but you can build on them. One cheap product I really liked, and this is LA Colors. What a surprise this was. See, LA Colors and I go back a long ways. When they first came out, I was trying everything. Every single one of their lip products makes my lips go dark, hot pink. And it's like a reaction to some chemical that they use in it. This, I'm wearing this today as my blush. This is a beautiful blush. Now this is supposed to be a cheek and lip pencil crayon. When I tried this on my lips, I got that same reaction. So whatever the ingredient is that does that, it's in there. But using it on my cheeks, it lasts all day, and it's so pretty. And they had several different shades of this. I would go back and get more shades of this for the blush. This is like my favorite of the cream blushes. I think of any of the cream blushes I have, except for my IT Cosmetics Sunlit. This one is beautiful, and look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful. And it's from LA Colors. I think this was $2 or $2.50. So that was great. And let me just see the color here. I can tell you the color. LA Colors Color Bomb Lip and Cheek Stick. And it's in Sweet Lips. Sweet Lips, but you use it on your cheek or your lips, and don't use it on your lips because you'll probably have a problem. But it looks pretty on the cheeks, and I have it on my cheeks. I've had this on for several hours. So really, really good. This was a real gem in the Five Below. For bronzer, I did like this too. This is their dupe of the, this is W7 actually. They have W7 brand too, and they have some lip products coming up that I liked. W7 is also now appearing in CVS, so you may or may not see this in the CVS, but I like this. They are, of course, duping the Benefit bronzer, the Hula bronzer. This is Honolulu bronzer. Comes with its own little brush, which actually is not bad because you can carve out your bronzer and blend it out. And it's a very neutral color. It's very nice. I think it's more of a contour shade because it's more cool tone gray, and on my skin tone it's more of a contour shade. I think it's really nice. It comes with a little tray that you set your brush in. Of course, hopefully you will wash your brush once a week at least. And comes in a cute little box like this. It looks like it's a basket, and it's called Honolulu bronzer from W7. I believe this was $4, $3 or $4, and I think that was a great price. It's a nice little product, and it lasted. In fact, it's hard to take it off my hand. Let's trip up into the eyeshadows. They do have LA Girl. That's another company they have. They have the most of Smoke and Mirrors, which is their own like home brand, and then they have a lot of LA Colors. I'm not real fond of LA Colors with the quality of their makeup, and I suspect they use a lower quality talc. And when they're farming talc, it's so close to asbestos rock. And the asbestos can get into the talc, and then you're putting it on your eye. So, and that's really why they are trying to get talc out of products, is because asbestos is mined in the same areas as the talc that you use in cosmetics. And they were finding that some of the asbestos spores were getting into the talc. So a lot of companies are starting, and I think it's going to be outlawed pretty soon, having talc in your cosmetic products. I'm not sure what our new health director is going to be saying, but talc is dangerous in many ways, and it's in most of the cosmetic products you use. It's amazing. So anyway, LA Girl is one of the brands they have, and this is one of several different palettes they had. It's not bad. The pigmentation is pretty good. Longevity, you know, they don't blend as well, but you know, really quick, really cheap, not bad. The shimmers aren't bad. You got to be careful with some of these micro glitters in them. I don't like to use micro glitter in my eye makeup. I think it's very, very dangerous. So this has some nice, good basic colors in it. Mediocre quality. You know, once you've used really nice quality eyeshadows, it's really hard to accept. Like, this is a Natasha Denona. This is $25 and this is like $4, you know. So for $21 more, you get less colors, but they're really good pigments, you know, and it's... I'd rather have less that's good quality than more junk. That's my theory. But I'm always looking for a bargain, so I will always look at the junk to see if there's any gems in there, like that, like the blush. So, yeah, this particular one is Keep It Playful, and this is the color Downplay. Downplay is the name of this palette. They had this set, I couldn't resist it, because Beauty Concepts and Beauty Treats, I don't know if they're the same company, once in a while you get a hit with them, and this one actually wasn't bad. I was not too unimpressed with this. Now this comes with a duo-ended eye pencil. One side is black and the other side is a brown black, and I thought that was very attractive, but it's a very hard pencil, kind of like the Wet n Wild ones used to be. You have to use your cigarette lighter to soften it up. You use your hair blower to soften it up. It's okay, but it really drags across your eyes. It's not healthy for you at all to use that. Now this particular shadow palette, and I stuck it back on the packaging so you could see it. The pans are really large, and you've got a lot of good basic colors. You know, you've got your lighter shades for your lid. You've got, actually the medium shades are kind of a shimmer. I went to this and it was just about getting, you know, getting that brown in that I need. You know, it wasn't really giving me a lot. And you put a little of this on the end. Can add a few colors on there. It's not bad, but a lot of these cheapy palettes, I just don't like buying eyeshadow at Five Below. I just don't, and I don't recommend it. Once in a while you hit a palette that's okay, but I just don't think it's safe. I don't trust that the FDA has inspected all of these, that they're made ethically or with good ingredients. So I don't know. It's okay, but the pencil's too hard, and although I like the duo-ended brown and black thing, I think that's very nice. The pans are nice and big. You get a lot of product for the money. Some of the colors are quite nice, but blendability not so much. And again, I don't trust where they come from and if they were made ethically or with good ingredients. So, because the price point is so low, how do they do it? Okay, now this one, I actually like this. This is Profusion. And they have, here and there, they'll have Profusion items. And that's another hit or miss brand with me. They carry Profusion in Walmart and, you know, other stores. But this is the beauty book, and they had like 4 different varieties of this. They had different color stories. I like this particular one. This is the one with the cherries on it. I don't think it has a name. But they had like darker blue ones, they had greenish ones, they had yellow orangey ones. This one was the most neutral. And I said, oh, it's nice. They named all of the shades. And it's like, no, it says pressed pigment, or it tells you what it is. Highlighter, blush, bronzer. And all of these say pressed pigment. They don't say what the names are. So this was kind of silly. I might not guess that that's the blush, that's the highlighter, and that's the bronzer. Yeah, they've got some micro glitter in here. There is some nice shades. You can make a cohesive eye look from this. Profusion has some nice products sometimes. Now this other side is kind of neat. They show different eye looks and the colors that they used for the eye looks. And I thought that's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. I like that. And there's a nice variety in here for spring. I thought this was very springy palette. $5. And the other ones, the bluer, darker, more cool tone ones, same thing, $5. And they had slight variants in the blush and bronzer and highlighter. And some of them were for deeper skin tones. So I thought this was kind of an interesting combination for $5. So, but I still am real hesitant to recommend any eyeshadows from Five Below. Wet n Wild did not do this very well. This is the Brow Sesame. It is a brow pencil that is awful, absolutely awful. It just barely can see it, and it doesn't hardly show at all. And it's difficult. It's kind of waxy. So it was a complete fail. This was a complete fail. And they do carry, again, they carry Wet n Wild there, but you don't always see these products in CVS or Walmart. But I definitely do not recommend their brow products. I just don't like Wet n Wild's products. Going into mascara. This is into More Lash, it's called, and I'm sure you can tell they're trying to duplicate the Benefit Lash and Roll. And they're not a bad mascara. I'm wearing it now, and I did put some little clusters on the end. It's okay. It's hard to build up a good big honkin' lash like I normally like, but it's not bad. The wand is nice. It's a little spiky. You can, you know, get in there. You can build some lashes up. It didn't clump together. So, I mean, initially it's a pretty good mediocre mascara. I was really surprised. And it was only, I think it was $2.50. It was very inexpensive, so I thought I'd give it a try. But again, I'm a little nervous having something so close to my eyes that was made cheaply with ingredients that I'm not sure of. So again, I don't know if I would recommend something like this. I'm trying it. I'm kind of the guinea pig here, but I don't know. It's okay. I think it's just as good as the Lash and Roll from Benefit, and I know that e.l.f. made a copy of this too. And it's more like e.l.f.'s. They probably could very well have been made in the same factory, but it's not my favorite mascara. I don't know why anybody would want to imitate it, but cute packaging, really inexpensive, and it works okay. Doesn't leave dings, doesn't smear, so a lot of you may like that about it, and there's only one color, you know. Lippy products. In the W7 aisle, these were fabulous. These are the thick drip lip gloss thingies. absolutely wonderful. I put this on, I was shopping, you know, and I'd gotten out of the Five Below and I said, I've got to try this. So I put it on, and I was shopping, I got home, I had something to drink, some coffee, I had a coffee to drink. This was still on my lips, and it's a pretty color. This one is called Spotlight. This one's called Spotlight. It's a really pretty color on, and I absolutely loved it, and it stayed on. It felt very moist. You felt like you had something on your lips, but it was very moist, and it looked good, and it faded down really nicely, but it was like maybe an hour, 2 hours later, it was still on my lips. So W7 Thick Drip, this is the color Spotlight. Now what I noticed was I saw micro glitter in this, but you don't see it when you put it on your lips, so I don't know. Because I'm not a fan of micro glitter or glitter, as you know. The other shade, which I just recently tried, and it's a very pleasant shade, this does not have micro glitter. This one's called Too Close. Too Close, and this is more of a pink neutral shade. Just put that on there so you can see it. It's just barely there, but it makes your lips look very healthy and moisturized. So it's a barely there shade, very natural looking. I'd recommend these two shades. Now they did have like a cherry red one. I don't know how that would translate because they're sheer. So it may translate your lips with a little bit of redness. I don't know, but I liked these two a lot. I thought they were very, very nice. The formula was good. And looky. W7 found the same supplier as Charlotte Tilbury. A slightly different shade of rose gold. This is Charlotte Tilbury, so you can see there is a slight difference in the rose gold, but they look identical, they really do. Yeah, it's definitely more of a rosier rose gold than this, but they have, the difference is they have the thing on the top that says W7, and on the bottom they have the colors. I have First Date and Naked Desire. First Date, really pretty. This is more of your lips color, and then Naked Desire is more of a neutral tan color. So, and they had another color too that was a deeper cool tone mauve, and I don't know if they had a red as well. I just saw the three colors. But very nice formulation. I thought they came pretty close to you know who. This was a plumper, and very Pat McGrathy here. This was like a cherry plumper, I think. Very pretty on the lips. You do get a strong tingle, like a spicy tingle. It is a plumping gloss. My lips did feel a little dry afterwards. This is made in China. Pearl World is the distributor. This is their home brand, and it's Cherry. It's just called Cherry. So yeah, it's a very pretty color. It will react with you. It made my lips just a little bit dry, but I like the lip design. It's a really cute, really cute design. It's a plumping gloss. So most plumping glosses do that. They make your lips dry after a couple of hours. But initially, your lips do look full and soft. So it worked in that way. I can't say anything really bad about it other than that after a couple hours my lips were dry, but that's that's the nature of the beast here, I think. This last product is from Wet n Wild, and it's what I am wearing right now. This is the Lock and Shine, and one side is your color, which this is such a pretty color. And it's a matte shade. And I do recommend you go on the inside and blend it out on the inside, or you'll get the butt lips. If you smear it out while it's still drying, you won't get the butt lips. And then once it's dry, it's very matte, and it's there for the day. You get this other side here, which is your gloss you put over the top. The most uncomfortable lip brush I have ever used. I think it's a nail brush from a nail polish. It looks like the old school nail polish brushes, but that puts the gloss on it. Isn't that nice? Yep. So I'll turn that off. But it's just so pretty. I really like, and what is this shade? Let me just see what the shade is. They had several of them. They said they were new. They're Mega Last, Wet n Wild Mega Last in Nude Illusion, it's called. It's a 12-hour lip gloss, and I will have to say, when I tested this out at home, I swatched it. I put just a little bit on the side of my hand to look at it. I said, oh, what a pretty color. This is nice. It was there until the next day, and that's after a shower. I couldn't get it off. So, you know, if you like the color, it's there. And this gloss stuff, I think you can use any other gloss that you have, any other light color gloss. I hate this applicator. It really is nail polish. It gives me nail polish feels, you know, the vibe. So, but this is what I'm wearing now, and it's called Nude Illusion. And I love it. I think it's wonderful. Now this does make your lips dry after the 8-hour mark. This got through my entire work day, and it didn't look glossy, but you can reapply a gloss or a balm over the top of it. It doesn't budge. It doesn't budge. I had to use a makeup remover to get it off my lips, but I thought it was pretty good from Wet n Wild. So. Five Below, it's got a lot of interesting things. They have, a lot of candies. Some of them are old-fashioned ones. They have party goods. They have some electronic stuff, a lot of cute phone cases. They have some household items, and I was kind of embarrassed because I saw in somebody's video that they had a toilet brush, but the bottom of it looked like a cherry, and it had a green stem, and that was the handle of the toilet brush. And when you pulled it up, the toilet brush was there. And so when the girl said, "Hi, may I help you?" And I'm like, "Do you have the cherry toilet brush?" And she's like, "We sold out of them." Anyway, they had the plum one left, and it looked like male testicles. I was like, "No, thank you." And it had a black handle on that one. But I mean, they were only $5, and I just thought, what a cute little thing to have a cherry in the bathroom, So I'm trying to think now all of the things that I saw that were of interest. When you first go in the store, they had a lot of seasonal items. They had pool noodles, and you can cut them up and put them in your boots to keep your boots straight. That's kind of neat. They had lots of those silly t-shirts, and they had a lot of hats. They have very cheaply made clothes. Very cheaply made clothes. And there's size small for teens and preteens, of course. They had basketballs and toys. They had a lot of interesting toys. They're really into the gaming thing. A lot of light household things, like the Scrub Daddy stuff in different shapes. They did have some decor, nothing I would really put in my house, but you do you. They had cleaning supplies, automotive things, and puzzles, sporting equipment, barbell things, weights. Do they call them barbells anymore, or is that me? It's a boomer thing, huh? I was trying to think now. They had keyboards, mice. They had earbud containers. Apparently that's a thing. A lot of keychains and funny things, bumper stickers, earrings, which I would not buy. They had a lot of like regular skincare stuff too, especially in the little dollar trays, little travel things, a lot of little travel things that were interesting, and makeup removers and nail polish removers and perfumes. Oh boy. One that I smelled, I think it was supposed to be a copy of Gautier, and it was the woman's body. And when I sprayed it, it smelled like stale beer. So I just thought, just no. Yeah, I just moved on to the next little grouping of stuff. But the makeup's all over the place, and those different products, the dupes, are together in different places, in different stores. So you have to look around for them or ask for them. And I think, they'll help you out. It really saves a lot of time asking. But I had fun just kind of exploring through the place. It's a lot of fun. I wound up buying silly stuff, They had gummy ice cream bars. So it looked like an orange ice cream pop, like a frozen ice cream pop, but it was gummy stuff. Yeah, I'm going through there. It was pleasant, I hadn't been in so long that I had never imagined that they had dupes in there. So it's a good place to have a look if you're interested in it. If you use any of the regular products that they're duping, you might want to see if they come close. I'm going to give you updates on some of these products, whether they worked or not, or whether my skin broke out or whatever. So that's about it for now. I hope you all are having a wonderful week. Have a beautiful day. I'll be back very soon with my end of March faves and flops. I've got a lot of those. And then I'm still working on my Sweet Granny to Hot Glammy video. Alright, so I hope you're well. Stay safe, keep positive. Take care. Toodles.